This is the fruity one we have. Whoa!
I was one of those brain-dead incels that thought that the release of Cyberpunk 2077 would bring about the cure to world hunger, cancer. It would just purify the world. Unsurprisingly, I was completely wrong.
Aren't you Mr. Popular?
It ended up being one of the worst launches in game history. CD Projekt Red's rep was ruined forever. There is no way they would pull a No Man's Sky and dig themselves out of this enormous grave. However, I never lost hope for Cyberpunk. I did believe that one day they will fix the game fully. So when I found out that the 1.5 patch released, I was excited. I was shaking in my boots like a crack addict who just got his dose. So what do? I boot up the game and here we are. I've played around 15 hours of Cyberpunk in the past 2-3 days, and I can quite frankly say that this game is making its comeback very soon. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. It really is. A lot of the bugs that I faced on my first playthrough before the patch have now gone. There is a few that I'd like to point out, but we'll save that for later. So let me tell you about my previous playthrough. I completed the game. I play on the Xbox Series S, so I didn't have the highest hopes for it. I thought like it'd keep crashing, freezing, but surprisingly I didn't encounter any of that. It ran pretty smoothly despite popular belief. So let me go over some pros of the game, what the game did well. And the first part is the story. I think it was great. It felt like a movie, like a Hollywood sci-fi movie. It was fun. The characters were extremely likable. Judy, Evelyn, Panam. They were all cool. Notice how I named only the females, but Victor was cool as well. And spoiler alert, when Jackie dies, I nearly burst out into tears. It was bad. Like, I felt it, because I didn't expect, he's kind of the face of Cyberpunk, so I really didn't expect him to die like 5-10 hours in, so it came as a bit of a shock. Another thing that I can confidently compliment the game on is its graphics. The city looks amazing at times. I'll pull up some screenshots here. At points it even looks photorealistic, which is strange for a sci-fi game, but it really does. I could not get myself off of photo mode. Like, there was so many moments where it just felt like, I was taking a picture and you could just place that on like the trailer of the game and it looked, like it was meant to be there. Like, that's how good it looked. Like, every single moment of the game, like, you can take a screenshot and it just looks like an official bit of art. Finally, I'd like to touch upon the combat. It was really fun at times. For my new playthrough after the patch, I found out that there's katanas in the game. That ended up being my main weapon. I loved slicing people's heads off. I don't even know how I got the katana, I've already forgotten, but it was really OP right from the start of the game, and like 15 hours in, it's still just as good. So yeah, I got lucky with that one. But this is where, the game starts to fall a little, because I feel like the game is too easy at points. I've got a katana, I switch between normal and hard difficulty. It doesn't really make much difference. Like, there's this big ass boss fight, they hype me up for it, I'm like anticipating it. I go into there whip out the katana and the boss is fucking dead in like 5 minutes. Not even that, what am I talking about? 2 minutes maybe? I don't even come close to dying. So it's a bit of a disappointment there. Maybe I'll try the hardest difficulty next and I'll get back to you guys on that. Another thing that the game still does bad is the lighting. I'm playing on the Xbox Series S, as I've said before. There is no ray tracing or anything, but you know, I would expect, like, the normal version of the game to at least, you know, have decent lighting, but it happens especially in dark environments where characters start flickering between, like, dark and, like, bright. Like, I don't know, they've got some electrical shock going throughout their body every few milliseconds, and it gets really annoying to look at, especially when you're really trying to immerse into the game. That really pissed me off. There's also a lot of bugs still left over, and I don't blame them. Like, the release of the game was shit, so I didn't expect them to fix everything within one patch, but, you know, just a warning. I don't know if it's just for Series S, but there still is a lot of bugs. The driving in this game, even after the patch, it's like 50-50. It really depends on the vehicle, and I got into this sports car, I broke into it, thinking, yeah, I'm gonna, like, fuck this up. I'm gonna leave everyone in the dust. No, it doesn't happen. You try turn a corner, you end up like sliding, you fucking end up like going on 2 wheels, like, it's so weird. Like, I don't understand why that happens. I don't know if it's just, that's how the future is, you know? It got really annoying. Sometimes that aspect of the driving would be cool, you know, sometimes you'd turn a corner and it just like drift. Like, you don't want it to drift. Like, sometimes I just want to, you know, just slowly get to my destination. No, fucking car spins out. Sometimes that works out and you feel really cool. Other times you, like, throw yourself into a river and that doesn't feel as cool. So what does the 1.5 update add in? It adds in apartment customization and I think 4 or 5 new apartments, varying in prices with a one-time fee. Currently, I've only bought the Japantown apartment, which is the cheapest one, 15,000 eddies, but I'm aiming for the Corpo apartment, so yeah. There isn't really much to apartments yet. Like, what I look for in a game like this is the immersion. I want to feel like I'm there, and currently the game doesn't do a good job of it at all. Apartments are just the place where you sleep, you know, where you keep your weapons. Speaking on weapons, I think there's been a few new ones added in. I'm not too sure though. I don't know if I've encountered them. I'm not that experienced in the game yet. And the final major aspect is you can now moderately change your appearance after the prologue of the game, which on my first playthrough of the game, I was so confused as to why you can't customize your appearance. If you really want to get into your role as V, like, you should be able to change your appearance, you know, really, like, get into the role, but they've added that in now. If you go up to a mirror, you can customize your appearance. It's very mild customization. You can only really customize your hair, eyebrows, eyes, not much more than that, which is a bit of a shame, but it's understandable. But it's the fucking future. Like, if I want to switch from a pussy to a penis, like, I should be able to. I shouldn't have to face that barrier. You know, it's really restricting me from achieving full immersion. So, CD Projekt Red, please. And one last thing, this is a really small thing that I don't like about the game, is I really like to get into my role. If I'm playing as V, I want to feel like V. And if I'm playing as V, I want to be able to sit down in any chair. There is a billion chairs in Night City, seats, sofas, whatever. I want to be able to have the option to sit down in any of them. Another thing, now this is getting into that territory where it's kind of the modder's job at that point, because the devs probably won't even care. I don't like how there is so many bars in the game, but they're kind of like vendors, so you buy like buff drinks. I want to go up to a bar, get myself a whiskey, and see like an animation of me drinking it. I don't want to go up to a bartender, be like, hey, what you selling? And then, like, the fucking vendor is like, if I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second. I want to sit down on the bar stool, get a drink, see myself drinking it. I don't want to purchase, like, a drink or food or whatever, and then go into my inventory and consume it. Like, I can't even see myself eating it. And I know this is, like, just nitpicking at this point, but I just like to express myself a little. Like, why add in all these bars? No one, like, personally, I don't ever use consumables apart from the little syringe things, because those are, like, really easy to access. But I never go out of my way to go into my inventory and, like, eat a fucking burrito. But yeah, that's just, I guess that's fine for some people, but for me personally, I don't care for it at all. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I'll be gone for a week. There'll be no uploads. This is my final one. So forget to subscribe, and goodbye.